Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. I'm not diving into any long breakdown or a multi-layered situation. I just want to address one claim that I've kept seeing circulating everywhere for quite some time now. And that claim is this, that black people are somehow the most racist group in modern times. That statement resurfaces anytime conversations about systemic inequality, historical injustice, or anti-black discrimination gain traction. It doesn't matter whether it's black Americans, black Europeans, continental Africans, or the collective global Tanetjerian race that is engaging in those discussions. That statement is always being brought up. It's not random, it's strategic, in my opinion. The accusation effectively functions as a deflection mechanism. Instead of examining structural power, history, and institutional disparities, that narrative shifts the spotlight and says, "No, actually, you're the problem." They love repeating that line, that we're supposedly the most racist, but when you actually press them for specifics, the conversation gets vague real quick. What policies? What institutions? What global systems? What measurable outcomes? Heck, even less than that, the level of hate we get for simply existing in fiction supersedes anything they would possibly bring to the table. If we're being intellectually honest, that claim collapses under scrutiny, and they know it, but don't care anymore, or likely are too stupid to even understand just how stupid they sound saying it. The reality is, they are mad that we tend to be the only race that consistently holds them, that being any race in question, accountable for their own racism. On average, Tanetjerian communities are among the most vocal in confronting racism, not just when it affects us, but in broader conversations about justice, civil rights movements, anti-colonial struggles, anti-apartheid campaigns, and global human rights advocacy. Tanetjerian intellectuals and activists have been central in shaping modern anti-racist discourse. It gets to a point when we go out of our way to fight for other people who face racism at our own detriment, only to be stabbed in the back by that same group time and time again. If we're the most racist, why are we the ones consistently organizing against discriminatory systems? Why are we the ones pushing conversations about equity into mainstream institutions? Why are we the ones historically demanding integration into systems that excluded other people and us? The fact of the matter is, they don't like it when we paint them for what they actually are, and they fear the repercussions that may come from it. There's also a psychological component here. When a group that has historically been subjected to discrimination begins naming power structures openly, it really makes them extremely uncomfortable. So in their eyes, confronting racism becomes reverse racism, and it's utterly pathetic. Of course, none of this is to say prejudice doesn't exist in Tanetjerian communities. Prejudice can exist anywhere humans exist, but prejudice without institutional control does not operate at the same magnitude as prejudice embedded in law, finance, geopolitics, and military power. Conflating interpersonal bias with systemic dominance distorts the conversation, and quite honestly, in my opinion, most of the prejudice we may have stems from how the world insists on treating us. If we were actually as collectively exclusionary, insular, and quote-unquote racist as people claim, would our global position look the way it does? Would resource-rich African nations be economically penetrated so easily? Would diaspora communities across the world be disproportionately targeted by discriminatory housing policies, redlining, labor exploitation, and media misrepresentation? Would there be such a long-documented history of anti-black violence and policy-backed marginalization globally? No, of course not. But the real kicker here is, if we really were racist, truly in its fundamental meaning, we would have retaliated back. We would have dedicated ourselves to the destruction of every race that has transgressed against us. Forgiveness would not be in our vocabulary. In truth, we showed the world an undeserved mercy for the hell they put us through, and yet we are still hated for it. We had and still have every valid reason to crash out and take the world down with us. This generation may still hold the longing for cooperation and unity, but there will come a time, a generation of Tanetjerian will one day have had enough of the dehumanization of their race, and when that happens, it will be the world's fault, and they will deserve whatever hell comes to them. The reality is, you can attack a race for so long before they've had enough and strike back. That's all I wanted to say. That statement is nothing more than a gaslighting method to silence those of our race, and although it may work on the weak-minded among us, we're starting to see more of our own being unfazed by that statement. Let me know what you guys think. Be sure to like the video, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.